Hello, Lara.
Hello, David.
So here we are. To those that are new to my channel, my name is David Florence. I created my YouTube channel, Evolution of Dave, way back in 2017 after a bang to the head that made me want to enhance my physical and mental health. Along my journey, I've accumulated various qualifications in alternative therapies and developed my understanding of what's capable to heal the mind and the body. I collaborate with various human beings. One of those is sitting with me here right now, Lara Wharton, who's a name hopefully that will sound familiar because she collaborated with me on a really beautiful breathwork track, a Soma breath track where you've got Lara's voice guiding you on the meditation parts. Lara's here today to talk about Yoga Nidra and its benefits. And we'll start off with the benefits to do with sleep. But before we do that, I will hand you over to Lara. She will introduce herself, and then we will start talking all about Yoga Nidra and why everybody should be doing it.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
My name is Lara. I teach meditation and now Yoga Nidra. I basically help my clients relax and calm their nervous system down, which helps release anxiety and helps sleep problems. It's one of the bigger reasons people come to me. I also changed my life drastically about 6 years ago, going from a very anxious, stressed corporate lawyer, very, very busy, didn't know how to relax as well as I do now, not very healthy, physical pain, back problems, and shifted into teaching meditation or first practicing and cured my back problems with mindfulness, meditation, simple yoga exercises, just with gentleness. After a couple of years in and out of the hospital, the modern techniques weren't working. And so took it under my own control and realized how beneficial all these practices are for our bodies, for our health, for our spirits, and started sharing those around to people around me, seeing benefits in people almost immediately from practicing meditation and relaxation exercises and breathing techniques. And then transitioned and now have been teaching this full time for the last 6 years in corporate settings and also in private sessions. So what I am teaching now, which I am the most excited about, and that I'm practicing once, sometimes twice a day, because I love it so much, is Yoga Nidra. And it means yogic sleep. And it's basically a guided meditation, and it's easier than meditation, than traditional meditation practices like mindfulness, because you don't have to focus. You just have to listen to the voice of the guide, of the teacher, lie down on your back, on your bed or on the floor, and just listen and try to stay awake. And the benefits of Yoga Nidra are incredibly powerful. When you are in this state, the particular language and order of the instructions that the teacher gives you puts you into a state of consciousness between awake and asleep. So you're in this state where it's almost like a dreamlike state, and it can actually help you lucid dream and get more familiar, remember your dreams better, because your body goes to sleep and gets the deep restorative rest that happens when your body is in deep sleep in the parasympathetic nervous system. And all the healing mechanisms of the body are triggered. And so the body goes into like deep self-heal mode. 1 hour of Yoga Nidra or one session is equivalent to 4 hours of sleep for the body. And meanwhile, we try to stay awake. And so our subconscious bubbles up to the surface, and we have the ability to clear out past traumas, past impressions, past memories, emotions that are stuck in the body. So there's a host of benefits to this practice, but mainly if you have a hard time sleeping, or if your nervous system is agitated, if you're in that fight or flight mode too often, I've found that this is the most effective practice and actually usually works immediately within one session.
Now, I've got to tell you something. So Lara and I had a discussion yesterday about this, and I said I was going to go away. Having tried Lara's Yoga Nidra before, I wanted to give it another go prior to sleep. So I did that last night. Now, I did fall asleep before the end. I know, however, a bit like with clinical hypnotherapy, that's not a big problem because you're still going to take it in subconsciously. However, two things happened. One, very positive. Two, I woke up about 2 o'clock in the morning. And the funny thing was, I woke up really awake and I thought, right, let's crack on with the day. And then I looked at the time and I thought, no, actually, that doesn't work. That's far too early. So I then figured out a way to get back to sleep, which for me is a kind of a breathwork routine. But at the same time, when I woke up, I remember thinking, it's okay, because Lara has told me before that this is the equivalent of 4 hours sleep. So therefore, if I had the 4 hours of Yoga Nidra plus the 6 hours sleep, then I'm fine. But the really positive thing, I decided to, because I hadn't done this before, I decided to set an intention, and it was an intention around my career. And so much of what I do at the moment is working with individuals, and I'm slowly working with groups. I'm doing more live sessions and also approaching the corporate market. And I wanted to, it's not happening quick enough for me. So I set that as my intention, but I said to myself, I'm grateful that I have more work than I can handle. In the morning, I then open up an email from a guy that wanted to book 6 sessions of breath work, a company that wants to get me in for a retreat. And then since then as well, something else has happened this morning. So
wow.
Now, a part of that, of course, is the subconscious power, the power of the subconscious, but I'm going to be definitely doing more of this Yoga Nidra. I love the fact that it put me to sleep. I love the fact that if the intention setting works, which we know it does anyway, then it's a blooming good reason for me to do it. And we'll talk about my other experiences maybe in a bit, but yeah, I love what it makes me feel afterwards. So when I've done it in the daytime, the Yoga Nidra afterwards, I feel really good. Yeah, in a kind of a floaty fashion. So yeah, I'm sold. That is for certain.
I'm going to comment on the intention that you mentioned. So just for people who aren't familiar with it, the practice has a bunch of steps that you don't need to know them, you just listen to them. But one of the steps is an intention setting, and you create an intention that's just a short, simple, positive statement. And with this practice, if you do it regularly, like every day, or regularly as much as we do things, it will come true. The intention will come true, and you use the same intention every single day. So you can use this practice to get rid of bad habits, to get to even change your personality, to become more brave, to attract more work, to change your business. And because your body is asleep and your subconscious is on the surface, the whole practice is basically fertilizing the soil of putting you into deep rest, opening the subconscious so that you can then drop in that seed of the intention. So it's the most powerful time to make intentions, which is why yours worked right away. But
I like the seed analogy too. Now let's talk about the imagery, because that's something, as you know from previous conversations, I was fascinated by. There was a particular use in your language of imagery. Could you tell me more about that, or tell us more about that and why it's used?
Yes. So one of the portions of the meditation is guided imagery, a visualization. So once the teacher guides you into the deep rest space and your body's asleep, your subconscious is on the surface. Even your unconscious is more accessible for us to work with. And we know that we hold a lot of, in Sanskrit, we call them samskaras, but impressions or memories or traumas or emotions that we're still holding on to, we haven't released from the past. We store all of this in our bodies and in our subconscious and in our unconscious. And those are the things, these impressions that trigger us in day-to-day life. It's why we revert back to past behaviors and aren't always completely mindful and perfect. So when we're in that state, we have the opportunity to kind of clear out some of our subconscious when it comes to the surface. And the guided visualization part of the meditation, often I'll just do rapid fire random objects. And these are intentionally chosen archetypal objects or scenes in nature. And I ask you to visualize them one by one. So it'll be like dark night with stars, wind from the sea, a sailboat, a lion, a cat in the jungle, random, often nature things. Sometimes it'll be a red square, a white circle, and you just bring them to mind quickly. And when you bring them to mind, you're basically like plucking these archetypal images and any impressions related to those from the subconscious. So just by becoming aware of them and creating a visual in your mind, and if you can't visualize, you don't even need to, just feel it or bring the thought of that object into your consciousness. You're actually clearing away these impressions from the subconscious, even the unconscious. This practice also creates a wave of energy through the body of pranic life force energy as we go through a body scan at the beginning of the practice. Rotation of consciousness, so it's like a very rapid body scan moving from part to part. This creates a flow of energy through your body that clears the nerve pathways to the brain and just again just gets stuff moving in the body to clear space. And then we drop the intention in when there's space.
Yeah, so having done body scans before, I haven't done them that quickly. So that was interesting in itself. But I found it quite easy to move that energy around. I think maybe because it's quick, it's sort of, you're thinking about your thumb, you move to your fingers, you go to the palm of your hand, and it's that quick, isn't it? You're moving from one part of the body to the next that quickly. Yeah, that I really liked actually. And also the other thing, post the archetypal imagery, you then get the participant to imagine something behind their forehead, like it's a blank or a dark screen. And it's when I've gone, let's say I did a past life regression not so long ago, and I struggled for a while to get images up in my mind. And I've had that experience before when I've either been guided in a meditation and they ask you to imagine such and such. Sometimes I find it hard, but this is the first time, not only, I think maybe the way I'm seeing it is the archetypal images, because they're quick fire and they're sporadic and they're completely different each one. I think maybe that in a way, you could think of it as being exercising your creative mind before then having to create this imagery behind your forehead. And I wonder whether that might be something to do with it, because either way, when you then asked me to create this image or allow the images to materialize rather than create them, some incredible images appeared, and it was wonderful. And I've not experienced anything like that before. So
that, yeah, that would be almost like, it's almost like you're dreaming, right? And people do go into like a dreamlike state in this practice. But yeah, so you create the images, this practice helps so much for your intuition and your imagination and your creativity, because again, you're accessing deeper parts of your subconscious, and you're getting to know yourself so much better, even though you don't always understand the imagery that arises. So there's a portion where we visualize particular imagery, and then there's a portion where we just observe this blank space behind the forehead, which is almost like a TV screen where imprints of our subconscious that are rising, coming out of us or bubbling to the surface start getting imprinted. So we just watch, and we can't always explain what the images are because the subconscious works in archetypal images and doesn't make sense to the mind all the time. But it can be fascinating, and it does induce more creativity, and it helps you connect to yourself as you see what's going on deep down. It's just like kind of dream interpretation if you pay attention to that.
I really like that. I really like the intuitive bit and the creative bit, because in my mind, most of us, unless we're artists, unless we're musicians, unless we are kind of creatives in our job, Now, I think the world that we've created blocks a lot of that creativity. And I've certainly found that anyway, that through having to spend a lot of time in front of the computer, I'm finding that I struggle sometimes to come up with ideas about content or imagery. So there's another very good reason why I should be doing this on a regular basis. Tell me, there are other benefits to this, as we know. Sleep is obviously one of the main ones, as it is yogic sleep. But what are the other benefits that you know to be true?
So physically, it helps any ailment you have, any disease, even injuries, because it puts the body into it's a deeper sleep or healing mode that the body goes into than when you're just regular sleeping. It gets more restorative than your nighttime sleep.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're putting the body into a deep state of healing. So that's going to heal anything. I mean, stress is related or contributes to 95% of illnesses and diseases, right? And any injuries. And so maybe not 95% of injuries, but
it's a good percentage. It's okay. I'm with you.
The first one was a fact that I do know, but I believe that. So by putting your body into that state, like you're just healing physically any ailment that's wrong, because you're releasing so much stress. You're releasing tension in the body, and it's healing itself. Emotionally, you're processing stuck tensions and emotional tensions, or those impressions I was talking about. Those are getting released, and you're in a state of mindfulness, of awareness the whole practice. So you're paying attention to what's arising. You're feeling energy move throughout the body. You're feeling different emotions up, perhaps. In the visualization part, and when you're observing the subconscious come to the surface, it's often visuals. It could be emotions as well. It could be patterns. It could be colors. It could be anything. Stuff is just bubbling up to be released, hopefully, or to be released. You're not holding on to it. Once you feel it, you observe it, you try not to attach to it, and it gets released. So it's emotionally, you're processing and managing your emotions and becoming more open, getting to know yourself. And then the benefits of the intention, you can change and put anything in your life that you want, and it will come true with repetition. And then the clearing the subconscious. So good to, if you're on a self-awareness journey and trying to be more, live without so many attachments and so many past triggers and traumas affecting you. I could probably go on. Anything else you can think of? Benefits?
No, I'm just thinking now, we could have done with that Yoga Nidra on my trauma course.
Oh, yes. That would be so good on your trauma course. It's also really, 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 really enjoyable. My clients have described it as blissful relaxation, which I'm using now more. One of my clients said that it was like candy that's good for you. She's like, she's like, I don't get it. It's like, it's so good. It feels so amazing, and it's good for you. Like, you feel so blissed out after, and you don't even have to concentrate. I think for a lot of people who've tried meditation and couldn't stick with it, this is a lot easier, because you don't have to focus. You're not supposed to focus or concentrate. Just listen to my voice and stay awake.
Stay awake.
And yeah, and it's physically a bit more powerful.
Yeah, I love it, because you and I have both been on a journey, and we have an exploratory mindset. Therefore, we're trying different things probably quite regularly. Some that work, some that don't, and this one absolutely works. I would say, it's going to work for 100%. I'm going to pick a percentage out now. It would work for 100% of people, guaranteed, because it is amazing. It's really cool. And it's so easy. It's not, and as you say, I think, especially when it comes to meditation, I mean, you more than anybody know how good meditation is, but you equally know how difficult it is sometimes. And because of the world that we've created, the busy minds that we have, it's hard to concentrate or not concentrate, you know. So anything that is guided is always helpful, a bit like the breath work. But yeah, there's lots of benefits with this.
Something I've noticed with my clients who I've taught meditation to for years, and now I've been teaching them Yoga Nidra the last 6 or 8 months or so, is that they're finding that their meditation practice is enhanced by the Yoga Nidra, that it's the two work in tandem. I definitely don't think if you have a regular meditation practice, you should give up on that. This is a supplement. But you could, I do this every day, as I mentioned, and have lessened my meditation time to be able to fit everything in. But they do work in tandem because you are still being, like you're in awareness mode in Yoga Nidra. You're operating on the level of feeling and hearing, or being aware and listening. So having a meditation practice where you've built up that capacity to just be aware of what's happening, to be mindful without reacting to it. I think the practices enhance each other like fivefold. Like I think if you have a mindfulness practice, you're going to get even more out of Yoga Nidra. And if you practice Yoga Nidra and then you start meditating, the same thing, you're going to get more out of it. Like they work together to enhance each other.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. Amazing. So where do people contact you? How do they get hold of you? How do they get some of Lara's Nidra?
You can go to my website, which is listenlightly.com. And right now I'm teaching private sessions and private group sessions. And those all include the recording. So you book it for yourself or for you and your partner or a friend. Somebody needs some calm. A lot of people are buying them as gifts because nice. Yeah, for family members or people who have a hard time sleeping, and it's like just over a 1 hour session. And then you get to, and they're all online, unless you're down in Sayulita, Mexico, let me know. And you get to keep the recording. So you can practice with that for months and years after, until you're ready to kind of go deeper. We are hosting a live Yoga Nidra session for the public for free. So you can try it out on May 8th at 7 p.m. British UK time. And
that UK thing.
Summertime, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. 2 p.m. Eastern online. And you can sign up for that on my website, listenlightly.com. And maybe you have another sign up page. I'm not sure.
No, let's keep it simple. Let's have one sign up. It will be on Zoom. It will be live. But yes, you will need to sign up if you want to join, but it is free. It will be amazing. If you're new to it, you're going to feel incredible at the end of it. And if you're like me, you will end up getting some incredible images as well during it. So do sign up for that. I'll drop a link below. Lara, this has been an amazing conversation. What I love actually is that the light behind you has changed. So we've gone from quite dark now. It seems that as if it's quite bright and beautiful there.
It is. It's the stars were out when we started, and amazing. Another beautiful day here.
Yes, of course I am envious, but I am here in sunny Britain as well, which it is sunny right now. So that's good. That's excellent. Love it. Really, really good chat. As you know, I'm sold, and I'm looking forward to our next session on, sorry, what date did we say? The 8th.
Sunday, May 8th. So yes. 2 weeks Sunday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.